Hey everyone, as always, Dylan Miller Prospecting. Welcome to another episode of Friday night or Tuesday night gold panning fevers. It's no longer Friday, so Tuesday night gold panning fevers, episode number 202. But let's go catch up on chat really quickly. Thank everyone who's here so far. Tomcat Josh, thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. Cockatoo Birdman Bill, always appreciate you being here, man. Ortiz, thank you for being here and being a mod. Miller Prospecting for leaving the old thumbnail up for all day, but oh well. Steven Single-Handed Jewelry, thank you for being here, my man. How are you doing? David Dandaran, that's awesome. Yeah, I like the new dimes. I like the new dimes I came up with. It took me forever to get the hole punch, the cards, everything, the laminator, but I really like those over the old flip ones. So much better, And I'm glad you like it as well. Stephen LeBlanc, how's it going, my man? Refotris, what's up? Gold Marine, Imagination to Form. I'm glad you like the gold, my man. And thanks for popping in Whatnot the other day. Who else do we got here? Michael Reed from MCD Prospecting. How are you, man? Hopefully you're doing good. Oh, my YouTube is way back behind. Jeff Boge, how's it going? Mark Sheldon, Cajun Bullion. What's up, Cajun? I'm going to email you probably tonight or tomorrow. I'm probably going to just go do a swap trade with you. So I just have to do some stuff with some gold to see how much I have left over and just do a swap. I don't know why I even thought of PayPal stuff. Just sometimes my mind just ain't working. But I'll email you tomorrow. But that's really cool about those other things, which I won't bring up here. Those are really cool. Shane Prothero, how are you doing? Alan Curry, my man, how are you? Thank you for staying up so late to hang out with me. Fox Rider, how's it going? Kristen Reed from MCD Prospecting as well. Randy Klatt, Neanderthal Prospector, how you doing? Aaron Mack, how you been doing, my man? Your dime still hasn't showed up? All right, here, let me write a note now. Let me get my pen. Where do I have a pen at? Hold on. Here, I will write a note right now. I will ship you another one tomorrow morning, and that's not a problem, man. Yeah, just let me know. I think I still have your email address. Email me again tonight, Aaron. If you email me again tonight, just to remind me your address, because I might have deleted. Usually I delete people that are just sending me their addresses. I usually delete it. So Dylan at Miller Prospecting, just email me tonight or tomorrow, and I'll send another one out to you. It's not a problem. Annie Stevens, how are you? Bear Prospecting, just killing it with those prices. Whiskey Lover, how are you, my friend? I see my package got delayed. A3 Sky Warrior, how are you, my man? Still working the night shifts? Package total. Dorothy Richardson, how are you? All right, I can pop out chat. I think I've caught up with everyone. Weezen Geezer, how are you? Thank you for being a mod. I really appreciate it. And there's my other mod as well, PA Patriot. Thank you for joining the show. All right, I can pop out chat. It's driving me crazy. My YouTube on my OBS is like 10 minutes behind. So every time I see something, it's driving me crazy. There. All right. So yeah, I can pop out chat so I can look at my own ugly mug. Since y'all have to look at it, I might as well have to look at it as well. There we go. But yeah, tonight we're going to be panning out two different, well, a bag and a jar, and not even really a bag. I can't really show you, but I've got a thing of golden Paydirt reviews. Paydirt, I guess that was his old Patreon Paydirt. So, Bob's from Bob's Pistol sent this to me a while ago, and when he got it, it was busted open, so he shipped it to me. It was busted open, and we're going to be going through that tonight. Just a blast from the past with Martin over at Golden Paydirt Reviews. He hasn't posted a review in a while. I think he did one last year. I think he popped in and did one review last year. So I just figured it'd be fun to go through that. But then we're also going to be going through a Gold Nugget Man. This is his 2-gram picker jar. We're going to be going through that tonight as well. So should have some fun. Should find some good gold. David Stocks, thank you for joining the show. And yeah, David Stocks, I know there's a lot of people who like Clash. He puts out, I will always admit, he puts out great videos. Clash puts out great videos, but unfortunately, he's, only being half truthful with his videos. He talks about, this company is only going to give you a 25% ROI, but here's my company that puts out a 50% ROI. And if all you see is somebody talking negatively about 25% ROIs, you think, okay, 50% is really good. And he's not telling you the full story that there's also 90% ROIs, 80% ROIs. There's a lot of great companies out there that he's not telling you about. So I always thought that was disingenuous, and not very truthful, which, is my one problem with him is he's not very truthful when it comes to that. So he tricks people into, buying his pay dirt. You think you're getting something great when his pay dirt is pretty mid-tier. They have bad pay dirts, they have mid-tier pay dirts, and they have really good pay dirts. So that's why I do a lot of reviews about the good pay dirts, because there's a lot of good pay dirts out there. So, but I'm glad you found my channel. I really appreciate it. Make sure I catch up everybody on chat. Oh, I've got it on top chat. No wonder it's driving me crazy. So live chat, there we go. David says, thanks for the shout out. No worries. I got a video coming up this Saturday. I have to look through my list to see who I'd forgot to do shout outs for and who I had and who I hadn't. So now I'll remember I heard to give you your shout out, even though I might end up giving you another one, because sometimes when I shoot the videos, I just can't remember. So I give more shout outs. TM, how's it going? Gold Baron, how's it going? Still love that baseball tee. If y'all haven't seen it over at the Gold Baron, absolutely awesome shirt. No, it's too hot in my studio ever to wear anything until it gets real winter. So, and Ortiz, how are you been doing, my man? How have things been going with the kids? Doing good? That's good, Aaron. That's good. That's good. So, but we're not going to talk too much tonight because, like I said, we got two things of pay dirt to go through. They're probably going to be similarly pretty easy to go through. I know the Gold Nugget Man's going to be really easy. He does, he gives you a little flyer when you buy his pay dirt telling you not to classify it down, because it's going to be really easy to pan out. So we're not going to classify it down for sure. So it should be pretty easy. Tim, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. I really appreciate it. So, but I noticed some of my other modders are here. Mark Sheldon, thank you for being a mod as well. I really appreciate that. It's always kind of you. And PA, how you been doing, my man? You still out prospecting, or are you back home now? Oh, that's good, Ortiz. That's good. Yeah. And also, for any of my Patreon members, I need to apologize. I know last Tuesday I told everyone I would send tracking numbers for everything. I still haven't done that. So if you're a Patreon member and you haven't got your package yet, just send me a message on Patreon and I will send you out the tracking number. Everyone should have got their stuff by now, but I just got busy with whatnot and some other things, just kids and everything else. So I kind of got behind. You got it? Okay, John Gear. So I know there's probably one or two packages that, the post office is just taking their sweet old time to deliver. So if that's one of you, just send me a message and I'll send you the tracking number. I just don't want to go through and send 40 tracking numbers when 38 of them already got their package. So going to Coos Canyon. That's awesome, brother. And you got their new dredge too, huh? More pay dirt. I already got these shelves of wonder. I have been looking though. I've got some really good videos planned. This month is going to kind of be, it shows the early beginning of September. And like you saw in the last video I did, I've kind of not the best pay dirts because, they are new sellers though. I got to show those. But again, September 20th. So I guess in 2 Saturdays, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, it is my birthday. So we're going to be going through some Australian pay dirt that Tuesday. Or that Saturday, September 20th, we will be going through some, I have a video with some Australian pay dirt that I am just so excited. It's going to be an Australian pay dirt battle. That's going to be a really good video. And then the Tuesday after that, we're doing more Australian pay dirt on the live show. And I might, probably some of that, all that Australian gold will get given away during Patreon. I don't know how much I'll get. I think I should have enough to do all the Patreon prizes, not enough for the actual Patreon tier stuff. But I'm really excited for those videos because I do love me some Australian pay dirt. So we're going to have to do that. Judge Dredge. Yours arrived yesterday. That's awesome. And Aaron Mack, again, thank you so much, brother. Thank you very much. Exposer, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Oh, you did? That's awesome, Exposer. That's absolutely awesome. Yeah. I'm glad. I wish I could have helped you out. Usually I try to, but it's just, when the price goes up, everybody hits me up. Absolutely everybody. And I've got a very limited budget for stuff because I do use it for my Patreon. And, I can put myself in the hole for a month or two and say, okay, well, this will be for this month and this will be for next month and this will be for the following month. But there's just, when price of gold goes up, I get so many people asking me, and I already said yes to some people and bought some. So I already have, my next 3 months already locked up. And if I start going beyond that, then the interest on, credit cards and stuff like that just starts killing me to, before I can flip it and get rid of it, so. Oh, that's awesome. You want a sluicing, buddy. That's absolutely awesome. It all worked out. That's awesome. I'm so glad. I hate telling people no sometimes, because I know it is harder to sell it now. When price goes up, people stop buying because everybody's kind of thinking, well, it's going to go down, and I don't want to buy it now. When it's up, then it goes down, and you kind of, lose out. Brian DeGlynn, thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. Mentally Corrupted, how are you, my man? Thank you very much. And TM, I'm pretty sure I said hi to you, but if I didn't anyway, thank you. Hi again. So thank you for joining the show. I appreciate everyone that's here tonight. Now, tonight, I might have the hidden link tonight. I don't know. I haven't decided yet because I have no prizes set up. Well, the only prize I have tonight, I'll let y'all decide if somebody wants to win it. If not, is all I have is a copper round, a 1 ounce American Prospector copper round. I wasn't set up for prizes tonight. I do have the link set up, but I've been too busy, and I forgot. Don't tell anybody, but I forgot to figure out a prize for the live show this month. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Originally, I was going to do a wheel. I think I'd said last Tuesday I was going to do a wheel, but I kind of forgot, like I said. So I didn't set up the wheel, and I don't want to put the wheel up there that I use for Patreon, because there's some Paydirts up there that, too expensive for a live show. So we'll see about the link. I might put it up there. I might not. So I did. All right. That's awesome, TM. I'm old. I can't remember that. Old and ugly. You can't remember it all. So. No, but yeah, so today we're going to go through two things. We're going to go through some golden Paydirt reviews. Really great guy, Martin. And let me just say this too. I don't know how many people remember golden Paydirt reviews, because I don't think he's put out a real review in like 2 years, 2.5 years, something like that. But me and him didn't see eye to eye doing Paydirt reviews. I didn't particularly like his style of Paydirt reviews, but he is an absolute great father. So if he's watching this later on and he sees this, Martin, you are an absolutely great dad. If anyone knows him and sees him on Facebook, he is always killing it with his son. He's posting. You can tell how much he loves his son. So, I might not have liked his Paydirt reviews, but I think he's an absolutely awesome dad. So he should be congratulated for that. So, but I still have 10 bags left. Come on, man. I'll take a copper round. All right, we'll do the link. We'll do the link when we put it up there. So the mods, y'all can start dropping the link. I'm going to start panning. We're going to move the camera around and stuff, so y'all don't have to look at my ugly mug the whole night. And we're going to start panning some Paydirt and find some gold. So let's go do that. Just do a practice of the wheel. Well, see, the thing is I have to have prizes on the wheel. So if I don't put prizes on there, I can't spin it. And you would be amazed at how many people, if I pulled a name and spun a wheel, that you might get that one person who's going to lock me in and say, oh, it said on there, I want that. Yeah. I've had it before. I once had an error in my hidden, like the hidden link, where I said in the description of the hidden link that they would win. They would win all the gold in that show. And I had somebody who emailed me, was like, dude, I want all the gold that you got out of that show. And I was like, well, too bad. So sad, but no. So, all right. Why is gold so pretty? You know why it's gold, because it's gold, man. So, all right, let's get rid of the ugly mug. Let's start doing some panning. Oh, and by the way, just in case anyone wants to know, one of my friends, good friend of mine, Liz, wanted me to tell everyone that I am totally awesome. I know you already knew that, but she wanted me to tell everybody in the live chat that I am totally awesome. So there, I said it. I am totally awesome. In case y'all didn't know. I mean, you already know it. You already know it, but all right, let's go to the panning cam. Let me make sure it's up. Yeah, it is up. So, all right, we're going to go get rid of the ugly mug. Everyone can cheer. Yay. And then, bam. All right. Ugly mug is gone. Now we can just get to the pan. Looks like it might be too bright. Let me see. Configure the video. Camera control. Nope, it's good. So, all right. Yeah. We are set. We're going to do some panning, some golden reviews. Give me a second to put some gloves on, move microphone around, do all that wonderful stuff. So, need Father's Day all year long and Mother's Day. I really do. Good dads are not, and good moms are not celebrated enough. They really aren't. Especially, these days. It used to be, people back in the day used to be good parents. These days, sometimes not so much. So, well, see, everyone thinks I'm totally awesome. So, all right. Let me move some stuff around. If I miss anything in chat, as always, I apologize while I adjust everything and get everything set up. And while I listen to my cat tear up my upstairs because he knows he's not being watched. All right, we're almost there. We're almost there. And so I can't see chat. I need to open up my tablet so I can see chat. And all right, there we go. Oh, I do. Yes, MillerProspecting.com, the absolute best website in the whole universe. And I'm not even selling anything on it either. Most people that do reviews and stuff, they have a website, but they try to sell you Paydirt. I don't try to sell you nothing, but a good time, good information. Mika 1000, thank you very much for joining the show. Appreciate it. Oh no. Why am I getting an ad? I don't need no ads. Why is YouTube putting ads on this? No, it's supposed to have no ads. I swear YouTube don't listen to me. So again, tonight, this is the first bag we're going to go through, some Golden Paydirt. It was called the Golden Adventures bag, but it came from Golden Paydirt Reviews, and that is Martin. He used to have a channel. My original name on my channel was Gold Paydirt Reviews. Martin came out with Golden Paydirt Reviews, so I changed the name of my channel to Miller Prospecting. But we're going to go through that first, and then we're going to go through some Gold Nugget Man Paydirt. So find some good gold tonight, hopefully. I don't know how much is in this one. I really don't. I'm pretty sure it was just a Patreon tier reward, so I don't think there's probably too much gold in it. It did come with some other prizes as well. It came with two buttons, two Golden Paydirt Reviews buttons, which is funny. These were in the Paydirt, and they still have dirt inside of them. So those will be going into the wheel eventually, and just the sticker packs. And then a old Eisenhower dollar, which I'm kind of, even though I'm not a huge fan of the Eisenhower dollars, he wrote on it, Golden Paydirt Reviews and good luck. I'm not a huge fan of people writing. I mean, you can't get it off, but you kind of have to clean it. So, but it is a buck, so I at least got a buck out of this bag of Paydirt. That's awesome, Mika. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I was trying to look today to see if I got any feedback, because I was like, oh my gosh, I've never, used Whatnot before. So I was like, I don't know. I can't tell if I got feedback or not. So I'll still have to look around through it and see. All right. Where is my other glove? I don't want to be like Michael Jackson, only wearing one. So. And Banshee, how are you, Julie? How are you doing tonight? You got a show coming up too, don't you? S-Rip, how's it going, my man? How are you? Jeff, how are you doing? Charles King, thank you for joining the show. I appreciate it. If you sign in after you start the show. Ah, okay. Well, my tablet had been open. Oh, no, I guess my tablet did close. Yeah. Yeah, because that's how I have it set up. I only have it set up to do one ad right when the show starts, just because it gives me time to go to YouTube, make sure that the show is live and stuff like that, because then I'm kind of late. So, but yeah, that explains it. Thank you. See, this is my channel. I don't even know stuff like that, and that's why I have y'all here. Crash, how's it going? Wesley, how's it going? October 25th and 26th. Awesome. I hope you have an absolute great time. If y'all don't know, Julie is probably one of the best people for just advertising all the different channels around, just she goes to shows and hands out tons of information about everything on YouTube. It's absolutely awesome what she does. Bear Prospecting, how's it going, brother? I've been recommending your site to everybody. But all right, let's start with this golden. I don't know how much gold's going to be in here. But should have some. I'm not going to classify it down. I think it's got some silver shot in there as well. I'm not going to try and collect any of the silver shot or any other stuff, it'll just end up being at the bottom and eventually get into the Tuesday tailing. So I do see a big old piece of copper. Now, I guess it's a copper guitar pick. I wonder where he got the idea to do a guitar pick. So Martin was always trying to grow his channel any way he could. Always a good guy. So, and I will tell everybody, I've said it from the very beginning. Ever since I started doing my reviews, I know people will watch my videos and say like, "Oh my God, he's so handsome. He's so handsome. Oh wow, that is a handsome man." But he's incredibly boring, and he's doing a very boring review in these videos. He's got zero pizzazz. Handsome of, oh so handsome, but oh man. And then they say, well, I can do those reviews. So there are some great review channels out there that have absolutely amazing pizzazz. Martin's was one of those golden Paydirt reviews. He did go out of his way to try and make his videos very entertaining. We have the Groovy Gold Hunter now, and backyard prospecting and things like that. I've never tried to do that. I save all my pizzazz for my kids. It does look brand new, and you would be amazed that pretty much everyone says that all the time the first time they watch one of my shows. But it is a very old pan. I've been using this pan for probably close to 4 years, 5 years. So it is a very worn in. It's just the lights. It's just the lights. This is a very worn in pan. It is very seasoned. It's just the lights, I guarantee you. You're not on Whatnot again tomorrow? No, I'm not. So Whatnot is trying to get me to do more shows on Whatnot, and I have no real desire to do it. And they are really hounding me to do more shows, obviously because it, makes them more money and stuff like that. And I just haven't decided if I want to do that. It does take up time, and need more women on your channel, just saying. I'm not gonna go there, brother. I mean, like I said, I've never tried to be the entertaining review guy. That's just not me. I'm just, I will be the ugly mug that spouts out, numbers and stuff like that. I'm just here to give you the details as, factual as possible. So I try to have very factual reviews. I will let other people do the entertaining part. So, like I said, I save all my entertaining for. I did do really, really good on Whatnot. I mean, it's one of those things, like I told him, so I was talking to one of the reps there. He called me. We did a FaceTime show. Because like I said, he was trying to get me to do more Whatnot shows. I mean, he actually texted me today asking me to set up more shows on a calendar. But the problem is, when all the nuggets I sold, all the gold I sold on Whatnot was stuff I bought 4 years ago. So profit-wise, I made really good profit because all that gold was bought at, $60, $65 a gram, and gold is now $115, $117 a gram. So, I was going to make decent profit off of it. But, if I go calculate if I got that same gold today and put it on a live show, would I have made money? And I told him I just haven't had time to go through that. I will go through it eventually and see if it's worth my time. Because, I don't want to do a Whatnot show and at the end of the day say, okay, I made $1 off each nugget I sold. And then you get one that gets lost in the mail. You lose, 3 months of profit. So would you like to sell all of your gold? I don't have any gold, man. What are you talking about? One day, I mean, Dina, how are you? But no, I don't really keep any gold. That's the one thing. I keep a couple nuggets for my kids. Everyone knows I collect heart-shaped nuggets. I have a couple that aren't, but, I collect a couple nuggets for my kids for, later in life, but that's about it. I don't really stockpile gold. I mean, I have some Paydirt on my shelves, but 99% of the gold that comes through my hands gets sent out in Patreon. So, or every once in a while I do. If I get too much gold, every once in a while I sell Paydirt. So, and when I sell Paydirt, it's 100% ROI. So I don't really make any money on that because I only sell them to Patreon members. So, Oh, and just in case Liz is watching, how are you, Liz? So, watching, but oh, this is a nice little rock. Here, I mean, some like red quartz. So I will save this, and I might break it open later, see if there's any gold or something in it, because it looks the type of quartz that will typically have some gold in it. So yeah, on the Whatnot, yeah, you have to sell gold. Yeah, if you're on Whatnot, you're selling. It's just a selling platform. So I mean, I'm sure I could just sit there, but you don't really make any money. And just since you have to shoot everything from your phone, because originally I had talked to someone about it. I had actually talked to Mike from Gold Nugget Sales about it, where I would set up this show, the Whatnot show, something similar to this, but just I would be shooting everything from my phone. And then at the end of the show, whatever gold I found, I would then sell on Whatnot. But it's just, to me, it just, I don't want to have this camera running, OBS, YouTube, and Whatnot running all at the same time, trying to keep track of everything. And then, it just seemed like a lot of work to then sell if tonight I find 2 grams of gold, Yeah. Have you ever thought about getting a rock tumbler? No, no, I don't have. When my kids were little, see, it was kind of weird. When my kids were little and we were really big into gems and gem hunting and stuff like that, it was just like always on my bucket list. It's like, oh, I'm gonna, do a rock tumbler, shoot some videos, do this and this and this. But then my kids kind of outgrew rocks pretty quickly, and it is kind of like, well, I'm not big into rocks at all. I will show them off during the shows if I see them, but I like gold. That's it. Just the same as you see the silver. I'm just chucking all the silver in this is all silver shot, and I'm not even paying attention to it because I don't even notice it. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of silver. This all will go into the, David, thank you very much. And y'all don't have to do that. The Whatnot show paid for his ambulance bill. That's why I did the Whatnot show. The Whatnot show was just to pay for my son's ambulance bill, and that was paid off. So thank you very much, but you really don't have to. I really appreciate that. And didn't you just get a new dredge, didn't you, PA? You've broken it in all right though, huh? Yeah, and Banshee, he's doing really good. You know, it's a miracle nothing happened to him at all, because he was unconscious for a very, very long time. And that's why they had to, that's why they kept him in the hospital so long, is because, typically if you get knocked out, you're out for, 1 or 2 minutes, maybe 3. And he was out for an extremely long time. So they were really worried that there was something. But yeah, he was perfectly fine. I mean, cost a ton of money. It's going to keep costing money. We still haven't got his ER bill, but that's another day. They haven't sent it yet. So as far as I'm concerned, it's not, I don't owe anything on it. But yeah, he's perfectly fine. And for this very expensive lesson, he wears his helmet 24/7 now. So it's absolutely awesome. Dylan knows I do have them. I just moved them. See, my problem with rocks is I tend to move them. So like I just had a whole bunch of rocks up here and I moved them earlier in the show, and now I have no clue where I moved them. Because I always do that. I say I'm gonna set them aside so I can make like a bag of gem Paydirt just to send to somebody like Refotris. But then I put them in all kinds of different places. So I'll have like a little bag one place, a little bag somewhere else, and a little bag somewhere else, and I just always lose them. So. And Gregory, how are you, my man? And thank you, everyone, for joining the show tonight. If I don't see you in chat, I really do apologize. Just keep yelling at me, and eventually I'll see you. Just like I saw Gregory, thank you very much. Jeffrey Button, thank you very much for joining the show. And thank you, Dorothy. Yeah, it's, it was a very expensive, but I would much rather very, very expensive than him being hurt. That's, to me, that's all that mattered, It was really like, I don't know if I told everyone the whole story. So kind of, my son goes to skate park. He still goes to skate park every single night. And typically when I'm with him at the skate park, I might come home, depending on how long he's going to be there. But about 2 hours before we're going to go home, I will go to the skate park and they have a walking trail. I will walk on the walking trail and, just walk while he's skating. And that night after I was finished walking, there was probably like, 20 minutes until I was going to tell him it was time to go. So I went to go sit in my car, catch up on text and stuff like that. And I see from my car, I could see everyone surrounding some kid. And I'm like, oh, wow, somebody got hurt. And just the way it was, it looked like a kid had hurt his leg and everyone was sitting around him. So I was like, oh, man, that sucks. I was like, well, let me go see if he needs help or something. And I could hear the ambulance coming in the background. So I was like, well, I'm going to go see if I can help him and stuff like that. So I go over there. And as closer I get, I start looking for my son. And I'm like, okay, well, where's my son? And then closer and closer I get. And then I realized, when I'm like 10 feet away, that it was my son that was, laying on the ground, and they were all just kneeling around him because he was unconscious. And right when I got there is when he woke up. And I was like, wow. And I had been sitting in my car for 10 minutes, when I saw the people surrounding, it just didn't dawn on me that might be him. So, yeah, put a bunch of stars in there. Hey, Sean McClelland, how's it going? Thank you for joining this show. So, yeah, it was, I mean, there's one good thing at the skate park. They all know, all the other kids there know that if somebody gets hurt, to immediately call 911 and get an ambulance there. Because kids do go there. They break their legs and break their ankles and stuff. So it is a skate park. But luckily, like I said, they were really quick. Because by the time, right when I walked up to him and he came conscious, the fire trucks were there. The ambulance was there. So, Yeah, there's a big old flat picker in there. So I don't know if I'd call it a nugget because it looks pretty thin, but definitely. So like I said, I don't know Bob's Pistols. He's not here tonight. He only comes in every couple months. Bob, great guy, absolutely great guy. He only pops in every once in a while. And so he told me he had got this bag of Paydirt as a Patreon member, but he couldn't remember if he got it as a win for a raffle or a giveaway or something, or if it was a tier award. He couldn't remember. So he said he would just send it to me to pan out during a show. So which was just absolutely awesome of him, Nightbot is saying, oh, is Nightbot retarded? Oh. Nightbot got hired by Whatnot. Whatnot has bribed. When I get back to my computer, I will fix that. So, here, let me take a break real quick and fix that. All right, Nightbot. All right, I'll fix now, silly Nightbot. Beerman's Gold Prospecting. How are you doing, my man? You doing well, I hope. Skynet bot, yeah. So, all right, let's put this in the finishing pan, clean it up. But yeah, no Whatnot show tomorrow. I told them if I did another show, it would not be until October. I got other things in my fire right now that I'm concentrating on for September. So, like my birthday, September 20th, my birthday, y'all got to watch that. And then September, I guess Saturday is the 20th, 21st. So Saturday the 23rd too, we will be panning out some Australian Paydirt on the live show. So, HD, what's up, brother? Thank you for joining the show, even though you're late. Late, man. What's wrong with you? Hold on one second. Your wife was yesterday. Yeah, September is the absolute best. So yeah, so like I said, Saturday. This is typically I would do my Australian stuff at the first of the year or something, but just because my birthday happened to fall on a Saturday this year, I was like, oh well, why don't I just do some Australian Paydirt for my birthday? And I was worried because they shut down. It's so funny. They shut down the borders for shipping right when all my packages were at the border. But luckily, every single one of them was on the other side of the border when they shut it down. Yeah. Yeah. There is a lot of mica in this. So, a lot of fairy poop. But there is some gold. So, like I said, I don't know. I would be surprised if this was just a random tier reward. So, Nuggets ride, but you're on vacation. Well, feel free to send them back to me because, I already got the approval from Whatnot for them and tracking and all that. So, you don't want them sitting there by themselves. You know, you don't want to, And yeah, multitasking. No, YouTube is delayed. YouTube is usually delayed. Somebody's asking me how I can text message them and be doing all this stuff, but YouTube is delayed, so you'll probably see me wander off from the panning for a second. So this is a really, really pretty piece of gold. You really won't be able to see it, but so I'm not going to tell you whose dirt it is from Australia, but it is a Paydirt battle. It is 3 Paydirts from Australia, all 1 grams, all really, really close in price. So really nice piece. I can't tell though. It kind of looks like, to be honest, it kind of looks like it's been hammered flat. Because it looks like it's got hammering marks on it. It doesn't look naturally flat. I mean, it is a cool piece of gold and it is big, but it kind of looks like it was hammered that way. But it could just been hammered from a big rock or something. But yeah, so it's 3 Paydirts from Australia. All of them are, I think they're all within like $5 of each other for 1 gram. So. And they all ship to the United States, or they used to ship to the United States, but once all these embargoes are over, so I'm sure they'll start shipping it again, so. Best friends was the second. Yeah, I'm telling you, September. That's all the cool people were born in September. Yeah. You had him send it to work. Oh man! All right, I just didn't want it leaving out there. Those travel gnome from Travelocity. They will steal those packages. Yeah, they will send them to I Am Zax and Teo. How's it going? Thank you for joining the show. I appreciate it, brother. And again, thank you everyone who showed up at the Whatnot show. I really do appreciate y'all showing up. That was way too kind of all y'all. So here we go. So here's the gold. And we're going to take this out for a second. Let me see if I can clean the pan. Stop the gold coming out. Nope. The only way I'm going to get more Paydirt is to win it. So now I probably shouldn't be saying anything, but so I've been talking to 2 different sellers about gold prices and just how expensive it's getting, and people can no longer afford, Paydirt. It's just getting way too expensive for most, the average person to get a bag of Paydirt. So I have heard, I know one seller, I know one of the bigger sellers right now. I'm not going to say who because they might not want me to say this. So I'm not going to say who. If you figure it out, you're, really, you're a good detective. But one of the sellers, one of the big sellers, is crunching the numbers to see if they can switch all their Paydirts to a lower amount of gold. So instead of having a typical 1 gram, 3 gram, and 5 grams, they're going to still have all their same stock, all their same Paydirts, but they're going to switch it to 0.5 gram, 1 gram, and 2 grams. So it'll be a great thing. So, and that'll be awesome. I think it'll really help the community just keep thriving. Because, if gold keeps going up and up and up, we don't want to price ourselves out. I don't want to have to, tell people, okay, you can buy that 1 bag of Paydirt this year. This is the 1 bag you want to buy. You really want it to be, you still want to be able to buy Paydirt all the time. So, I do think this big seller is going to switch. I really do, because I think I think he knows sales are going to drop unless he does it. So, he'll still do sales because he is one of the bigger sellers, but, he can increase his sales if the average price of a Paydirt drops from 130 to 60, or 65. You won't get as much gold, but you'll still have the same size bag of Paydirt. You'll still have just as much fun. So, It'll be good. And then another seller did tell me they're going to start coming out with quarter-gram bags of Paydirt. I'm really hoping a lot more sellers will come out with either quarter grams or half grams. I know some sellers, I mean, there's some great sellers out there. Vendetta Prospecting, he's still pretty much only doing 1 grams. I might have to email him and talk to him and, beg him to start doing half grams just on a regular, not just, he just did a half gram, but I really would love to see a lot more sellers make some lower price bags of Paydirt. I am working on myself as a Patreon. As everyone knows, I typically every once in a while sell Paydirt on Patreon to some of my Patreon, where I will start having in stock all the time Paydirt on Patreon. That will be a 100% guaranteed ROI Paydirt. But it will only be like a quarter-gram bag of Paydirt. But it will be a 100% ROI, including shipping. It'll just be my way to give back to Patreon members. So, because I know a lot of my Patreon members can't afford to buy Paydirt all the time. And I will limit it. So somebody can't come in and buy, like 40 bags if I have 40 bags. You'll only be able to buy 1 bag a month. That way, anyone that wants a bag and hasn't had a bag of Paydirt in a while can spend $20. And whatever it is, I guess it'll be like $25, something like that. And get a quarter-gram bag of Paydirt and be able to pan it out. So, all right. Paydirt number 2. And thank you very much. I like my laugh too. Somebody was just saying that they like my laugh. So, Paydirt number 2, Gold Nugget Man. If you all do not, so I'm going to briefly talk about Gold Nugget Man. If you've never bought Gold Nugget Man and you've got and you can only buy one gram bag of Paydirt, if you can only buy one, buy Gold Nugget Man. I guarantee you, you will love it. It's not a lot of material. I will say that it's not a lot of material, but everybody's got some tailings at their house. You can add more material if you want. The ROIs on these things are just spectacular. He was running his 1 gram at $118 shipped. He just raised it. So I'm not sure the ROIs will be 100% because they were running right around 100% for the last year. So now you might get a 95%, but absolutely wonderful. It comes double packaged. It comes with, vials, things like that. It's just, the packaging on these is amazing. It comes with the letter. One of the great things about it, not only does it come with cards and everything else, it also comes with a magnifying glass in every single big order so you can look at your gold. That is just, I absolutely love Buck and Ollie. I think everyone should buy at least once from Buck and Ollie. So, oh, whiskey lover. Can they use 10K, 14K? Yeah, I don't know 10K. You're probably not going to find much 10K in the wild. Most gold on average in the wild is going to be about 18K and up. Is 16, probably 16 to 21 is the average carat of gold you will find in placer gold or placer mining. But usually if you get it, I actually have some nuggets that I have and that I had recently scanned on XRF that are 10 karat, and you can tell 10 karat gold does not look good. Nobody's going to want it. People will say it's not real gold and they'll send it back. So nobody's going to have Paydirt with 10K in it. So yeah, 95% is still good. So what I will do is I'm going to see how much gold is in this. I don't have my scale down here, so I can't do an ROI tonight. But this is their 2 gram bag, or their 2 gram jar. And the one good thing about this one is I think this, even at the time, was 95% ROI. And it's guaranteed a 1 gram nugget. So, or 0.99, I think they say. It's 0.9921. So it might be a little bit under 1 gram. But the premium on a 1 gram nugget is 10%. So if you add that in there, this is a 100% jar. They're 2 gram. It's absolutely wonderful. Buck and Ollie, again, if you've never bought from Buck and Ollie, save your money, buy one from them. If you're not happy, let me know and I will buy it from you. I mean, they are absolutely fabulous. I love them. They email you constantly telling you. And another good thing is they dig up all their own gold. So this is all gold Buck and Ollie dug up themselves. That's why when I first found Buck and Ollie and I did my first review on them, they had, I think, like 10 or 15 jars up for sale. Now they can barely ever keep one up at a time. They put one up, it sells. They put another one up because they have to actually go mine it. So here we go. I need a pan put this in. So focused on talking, but we'll see if we can see that picker drop in. I think it. Oh, I heard it. I heard it go in there. I didn't see it though, but I heard it make a little thunk. I heard it make a little thunk when it hit the rest of the dirt. Yeah, shipping to Canada is pretty tough. Don't say it's Paydirt. So if you ship Paydirt to any country, do not say it's Paydirt. A lot of countries, if you say it's dirt, they will open it. They will open it to make sure it doesn't have seeds in it, something like that, and they will open it. And when they open it, they'll dump it out. They'll dump it into a pan just like this, and they'll dump it back in the bag, tape it up, and stuff will get caught in the tape and stuff like that. I always put prospecting gear or prospecting samples. If it's a country that I'm worried about, like say Australia or some of these countries that are really stringent, Germany is really stringent on what you're going to get in, what you're allowed to send them. I put prospecting gear. If it's Canada, I might put prospecting samples, which could still be dirt. And the worst that's going to happen is they're going to seize it, and they're going to seize it if you put it's Paydirt. So. Oh man, that is awesome. I love hobo nickels. I absolutely love hobo nickels. So I'm trying to see if we could hear the nugget, but we haven't gotten down there enough, so we'll do that. So again, golden Paydirt reviews, and now we're doing a little gold nugget man. So, and again, if y'all know, another shout out for Martin over at Golden Paydirt Reviews. Me and him don't always agree on everything, but he is an absolutely wonderful dad. So I got to give that man a shout out. If Martin, if you're watching this and you're watching it late, you are an absolute great dad. I always, whenever you make a post and I see the post about your kid, your son, I always go to read it and look at it and stuff like that. I don't do thumbs up because it's just, I just don't do thumbs up, but I do want you to know, I do always look at him and watch him. And I always think, man, he's a good dad. So, all right. And we are using the wrong pan because I'm talking too much. So let's dump this into the other pan. Proper pan. Even though I could pan it out with this, it just makes things slower. Some custom person will pan it themselves. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. I will say it's been a while, but I once had a big box of Paydirt that I got. I think it was like a seller that had 10-pound bag of Paydirt, and the bag was open, and I just kept thinking that I was like, I wonder when I'm panning this, I'm gonna find no gold. As some postal worker in the back room just panning it out with his coffee mug. Yeah, HD. Nobody's buying. Absolutely nobody is buying. I follow the gold. I follow a couple of different gold things on Reddit. And people are talking about they're all going to their local stores and they're getting horrible offers, just horrible. Because they know it's not that, some of it is they're worried gold will drop. I don't think gold is going to drop anytime soon, not until somebody can start figuring out ways to fudge numbers and make it look better. But I don't think gold's going to do any kind of drastic drop anytime soon. I think the most of it is just they know everybody's selling. Gold is up. And so they know everybody's selling, and they know somebody's going to be desperate enough and say, okay, I need to pay my car note. I will take 20% off. It's just bad. It's one of the things that, you have to worry about when, you're stacking, whether it's gold or silver, is, if the prices shoot up, like silver just shot up to over 40, and same thing. I follow a lot of stacking channels on Reddit. And they're having the same thing. They're having a hard time selling their silver that's not private buyers, Yeah, that's HD. That's exactly. Unless you find private buyers, which is pretty much what you have to do now. You cannot go to your local stores. They know people are trying to buy it all. So, yeah. Yeah, the gold, I talked about it in my Patreon today for my thing. Foreign countries are no longer investing in the dollar. I don't, I'm not going to think, I'm sure there's a whole bunch of reasons why they're not doing it. but foreign countries have stopped investing anything in US dollars. Some smaller countries are picking up, so like when China says they're not going to have any more bonds for us or this or that, there are some smaller countries that are picking up some of them. But when a country like China, instead, like they just bought this month alone, they've already bought, I think, 4 tons of gold. I think they bought 2 tons twice, but I might be wrong. It might just be 2 tons this month. But when you buy 2 tons of gold and not that same equivalent amount of U.S. stocks and bonds, it just, that just makes the dollar go down and it makes gold go up. And they're just manipulating the market. It has nothing to do with they don't like us or anything like that, because, behind the scenes, they all talk and they all still get along. They're just doing it because they know this gets the dollar down, it gets gold up. And in a couple of years, they can just swap and sell it all and, make a ton of money for their country. So, But yeah, I do not see gold going down anytime. So that's why if you are a Patreon member, if I understand, money is always tight with everybody, but that's why I do my daily ROI charts on Patreon, so you could try and find the best, the absolute best ROI. I know a lot of people will say, like, oh man, Vendetta is my best Paydirt. I only buy Vendetta. And Vendetta is great. Vendetta, right now, if you go to Vendetta and get his 1.5 gram, I think you get 100% ROI on it. But if there's another seller that actually has 110%, and I tell you about that, that's the bag to buy. That extra 10%, that's where you're going to make up for the difference when LCSs don't want to pay you that money. So, hey Dale, how's it going? Don't worry, the late fee isn't too bad tonight. So, and if one of my mods, if y'all want to drop the hidden link, make sure you go, if you want to go leave a comment in the hidden link. I didn't set up for a prize tonight, so the only thing I have tonight is I will show everyone. There's a prospecting copper round somebody can win tonight. That's all I have. I kind of got behind on setting up prizes, so the only thing I have tonight is a 1 ounce copper round, a prospector copper round, and these were donated by Whiskey Lovers, so they're not even costing me anything except for the stamp. So, but I will send these out. Somebody wants to win it. The mods will drop the Nightbot link, and just go over there, leave a comment, Thank you, Brian. I mean, I know it gets kind of redundant, me putting them up there every single day, because most sellers, I'm not adding anything new usually. There's only so many Paydirts out there. I'm not going to all of a sudden find some Paydirt that's, selling 1 gram for $80. But I do keep track of everybody. And the main thing for my daily ROI isn't to find the great deals. I mean, those are past. But is to find the sellers that forget to raise their prices. Like if you look at Gold Nugget sales, he's been keeping up. He's been changing his prices. His 100% ROI bag went up $20 today. Last week it went up $20. So he's raising those prices quick. As soon as he sees gold goes up, he's changing his prices within 48 hours. But then you have some sellers like Vendetta, who they're not raising their prices because they bought gold at a certain price and they're going to make a certain amount of profit off their bags. But eventually they might say, hey, I'm missing out on $10. Why don't I raise my price $10? Bear prospecting, absolutely killing it with their ROIs, and it's not a lot of money. I'm almost positive you go to Bear Prospecting today and you see he's got a $25 bag of Paydirt, $25 shipped, 0.2 grams of gold. It's a 97% ROI, I think, or 93. It's a plus 90% ROI for a $25 bag of Paydirt, And if you were a Patreon member, you would know that. So, I love Buck and Ollie's Paydirt. Some of the best stuff. There's some really good sellers, and it's a real shame. I know somebody was talking about Clash before, about how they felt suckered into buying his Paydirt because that's who he advertised. And that's just the difference between our channels. I don't have 500,000 subscribers, but if you look at the Paydirts I review, Bear Prospecting, Gold, and the ones I promote, I have a top 10 on my website, millerprospecting.com. I have, Gold Nugget Sales, Vendetta Prospecting, Gold Nugget Man, Brad's Bucket. All these sellers that I'm telling you about are all like 90% ROIs. I think the minimum ROI you will get from my top 10 is like 88% or something like that. I mean, it's just, those are the types of reviews y'all want to see. It's fine to somebody, I do reviews on, look, this bag's a stinker and you're only going to get a 20% ROI, stuff like that. But most of the time, most of the people that do Paydirt, I think y'all saw it. I think you might have saw it. Most people that do Paydirt kind of know which ones to stay away from if there's no guarantee or they can do the math, things like that. So I'm trying to show y'all the ones that you can make, a little bit of your money back and still have fun with the hobby. So comments are not showing up. Oh man, come on now. Nightbot. Everything's broken tonight. All right, we're going to fix this. Hold on. All right, where is this? All right. Comments will start showing up. If you left a comment and it's not there, don't worry. I will approve it before the end of the show. So don't leave a second comment. It won't help you or do anything. So, and thank you very much for that. See, that's why I have these mods here. They're always helping me, keeping my channel set right. So I appreciate that. And thank you very much, HD, brother. So, I don't know. You can kind of hear it. We'll move it over to the thing in a minute when we get there. So. Mega Dog, how's it going, brother? I saw your name on there. I saw the 555 a couple of times, and I did not say hi to you, and I apologize. Thank you very much for joining the show. Always a pleasure, my man. Oh, yeah, you can hear it now. See? Trying not to get water on my microphone. Shorten it up. Yeah, you can hear that bad boy. I don't remember the exact numbers. I think it says like 0.99 1 gram nugget, so. And this was sent to me by Fox Rider, so I want to make a huge shout out to Fox Rider. Thank you very much for sending this to me so I could pan it out on a live show. I really do appreciate it. Class should offer a veteran discount. So I know a lot of sellers used to. Back in the day, a while back, everyone used to offer veteran discounts, and I think Clash used to. I'm pretty sure Clash used to be one of the people that gave veteran discounts, but I think a lot of people started cheating with it, which, So there was two problems. Either people were lying and cheating and, it's pretty easy to make, a fake ID that you're showing online. If you have to show it in person, it's a lot harder to fake it, but online is pretty good. And then the other sellers, like I'm pretty sure Vendetta used to offer a military discount. They stopped because they just started giving better ROIs. I mean, if a seller like Vendetta, right now, Vendetta, his 1 gram bag of Paydirt, I think is 97% ROI. He can't afford to give a military discount. You're getting 97%. Clash, on the other hand, Clash could easily give you a 10, 20% discount and not be hurting. So there's this nugget. There it is. Let's see. Where's the metal pan? All right. What? So I just found out. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but my friend Liz stopped watching the show. She stopped watching the live show to talk to her kid. Can y'all believe that? Oh my gosh. And she's the one that told me that I was totally awesome. I don't know. But there you go. There's a nugget. This is a beautiful nugget. I have to say, I think I have my junkie scale here. I will go weigh it up. But there we go. Still waiting on the bag I brought from Big Tex. Don't worry, it's coming any day now, brother. I don't know what I'm talking about when I say he's trying to rip people off. Yeah, I feel bad about that, so. Yeah. Like I said, I mean, when I shot my video, I mean, I used to talk to Big Texas a lot, off camera, not doing reviews. I think I only reviewed him one time. And he was George was a really, really nice guy. But like I said in my video that I finally did on him when, he started going downhill, he just wanted to be, a big seller. He wanted to be one of these sellers that was, like Gold Nugget Sales, where Gold Nugget Sales is giving out a 1 ounce nugget. He wanted to be like that. And you got to make the money first. First you have to have the gold connections, because I know where he was getting his gold from. And he was not getting his gold very cheap. He was paying just a little bit under spot. And then he was selling his Paydirt just a little bit under spot. So he was making no money. He was making no money off his Paydirt. I mean, I know it. I've crunched the numbers. He was not making any money off his Paydirt. You can't do giveaways. No. Hey, it's Fox Rider here. Thank you very much, brother. Again, thank you very much for this. And I apologize for not giving you the shout out earlier. Sometimes my brain don't always work. No. It is, So it's working now, so I remembered. You paused your video game for this? Thank you very much, brother. What were you playing? Something good? And just in case anyone doesn't know, my son is so psyched. Borderlands 4 is coming out on the 12th. I don't know why y'all care, but if you play video games, maybe you like Borderlands. It is coming out on the 12th, and my son is stoked for it. It's all he's been talking about, so. HD. And he is, I mean, I say this all the time. This is one of the best communities ever. There's hundreds of great people that are just absolutely, they touch my heart all the time just with their generosity, their kindness, and just how wonderful they are. But every once in a while, there is somebody bad like Jason Keith. Jason Keith, I know he doesn't watch this. He never watches this anymore. He's off spending money that he got from other people. But, he will get what's due him one day. So, yeah. Weezen, tell him, Weezen, what's wrong with these people? How many likes does this channel even have? How many this show even have? It better be over like 40. If this show doesn't have over 40 likes, I might start having my mods kick people out. Thank you very much, David. I appreciate that. So, yeah, a little bit more gold. We're getting gold in every pan. Like I said, Gold Nugget Man is probably one of my favorite sellers. I have three. My three. If I could only buy 3 Paydirts and I was stuck on an island, it would definitely be Gold Nugget sales. I love his variety. I love his, different types of Paydirt he has. He is great for having multiple types of Paydirts. Where else could you get an Australian Paydirt? I mean, Gold Nugget Sales came out with an Australian Paydirt. He, had Paydirt flown from Australia so he could make that. Absolutely awesome. Vendetta Prospecting. Probably one of the greatest guys I've only met once briefly, but just absolute great guy for the community. And then you have Gold Nugget Man. I just love Buck and Ollie. Absolutely great. I think most of the nuggets I have bought for my kids. Like I said, I do buy, every few months I will buy 1 gold nugget for each one of my kids. I think 90% of them came from Buck and Ollie. So yeah, if you're looking for gold, you could try them too. They are really have some good prices on their gold. So that's awesome, Dale. Gold in every pan, yeah. I will say it is one thing I do miss about Paydirts, but I understand why. Is, back in the day, like, it's funny, I talk about it all the time to some of my, the people I talk to outside of the show. Is, back in the day, I think probably the average amount of gold in a bag of Paydirt that people bought was either a 1/4 gram or a 1/2 gram. That was probably the average that people bought. And it was probably leaning a lot towards the 1/4 gram bags of Paydirt. But back then, that 1/4 gram would be in a 3-pound bag of Paydirt. You would be getting like 3 pounds of material. So you'd be panning a lot just to get that 1/4 gram of gold. And I do miss that, Sucked a little bit when I was doing reviews, having to pan out 3 pounds to get that 1/4 gram. It made it a lot more editing, but, 36? What's up with these people? Yeah, lynch mining was a good one too. So, and somebody's question. Who was the last one, Mega Dog? So I did a bag from Golden Paydirt Reviews earlier tonight. So he used to be a Paydirt reviewer, if you don't remember him. Martin. He used to do Paydirt reviews as well. And then he kind of retired to, he moved, wife and kids, had other things to do. So, was that all of it? That was all the material. So, yeah, so that is I don't want to say a bad problem, But it's one of the differences about pay dirts these days. It's just because shipping. Everybody had to kind of go away from the 3 pound bags of pay dirt. And there are still some that do it. Gold Bay still does it. You know, Brian Thomas Gold. But the ROI goes down pretty drastically. Drastically. Like if you look at Gold Nugget Man, or some of these sellers, or Vendetta, or some of these that are all like 1 pound bags, Gold Nugget sales, you know, they'll give you a 90% ROI. But then if you go to Brian Thomas Gold, you're getting like an 80%. So that 10% is just for dirt. And that's kind of hard one to chew on, you know. So I wish somebody could find a workaround for shipping pay dirt cheaply, you know. Like I do know, so there used to be, back in the day, there used to be a company, I can't remember who it was, but it was a bigger company, a pretty big company. And they used to ship everything medium mail, like everything. Didn't matter what it was. You were buying a guitar, they were shipping it medium mail. You were buying a TV, medium mail. And they ended up getting busted and having to pay a fine. But the fine was so much smaller than the amount of money they saved. So I was like, maybe if you put a book on top of every, you know, like you self-print a 5-page book and put it on top of every single bag of pay dirt you sell, so you can ship it medium mail. Yeah. LXR is a great one. LXR is a great guy. I haven't talked to him in a while. I might have to reach out to him. Yeah. I know he went to go focus a lot on his family and stuff like that too, which is usually why most people in the community leave, is they go to focus on their family, which is always a good thing. So Liz, how are you, Liz? Thank you for joining the show. She had stopped watching to talk to her kids. Or her kid, one kid. No. But she is watching again, so we can all rejoice. And thank you very much for watching the show. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone that is here tonight, even the ones that didn't hit the thumbs up button. So most of the fines are cheaper than the crimes. That's it. You can put a 3 pound. Yeah, it's just the price though. See, the price but difference to ship a small priority mail box is almost $11 now, whereas shipping a 12-ounce bag of pay dirt ground advantage is about $5. So that's $6 worth of gold you lose. So that's what I'm saying. That's why the ROIs are different. You know, if somebody could figure out how to sell a 3 pound bag of pay dirt and only pay $6 in shipping, that's $6 worth of gold you get, you know? And that's why a lot of times you'll see it, you know, most pay dirts aren't exactly 1 gram. And the way you can tell the difference is if you look at a lot of pay dirt sellers that are selling 12-ounce bags of pay dirt, you will get like 1.1. And then if you see a seller that's selling a 3 pound bag of pay dirt, you're going to get 1.05, and you're going to get a lower ROI because you paid a little bit more. So they just have to, you know, put a little bit less gold in there. They got to charge you a little bit more. You know, I mean, you can actually stick a 5 pound, you can actually fit 5 pounds into a small priority mail bag. Box. So, because that's what the sellers used to do. Sellers, you would buy the half-gram bags, and they would usually be 3 pounds, and then the 1 gram bag would be like 5 pounds, and they would stick both in a small priority mail box. They would stuff, you know, they would have to stuff it in there. I might just quiz you. I just might. Oh, no worries, Fox Rider. How are you liking it? I really like that pay dirt. I still think they messed up with that when they first came out with it. They didn't have matching bags that you could join together, especially since they know so many people just stack pay dirt. You know, you could have had, so that way you couldn't just buy from one, because that was my dilemma. If I wasn't doing a review, that would be my dilemma. Like, which one do I buy? Do I buy the washes from GNS, or do I buy the washes from Vendetta? Because they had already talked, and they were going to have the same price no matter what. So I was like, well, which one do you buy? But if they'd have made it so their labels were opposite, like where they were each holding half of the nugget and it combined when you put the bags together, that would have been banger. I'd have 2 on my shelf right now still. My perfect pay dirt would be 0.75 grams and 2 pounds of pay dirt. Yeah. That harder to rehydrate dirt. Yeah. But like I said, I'm trying to work on it. It won't be this year. It'll be next year, you know, so I don't know how much it'll be. But next year I will have, I got to figure out, like I said, I got to figure out shipping and some other things. But next year I'm going to try, for my Patreon only members, to have a bag of pay dirt up for sale constantly throughout the year. You'll only be able to buy one a month. So, I don't need to keep a ton of stock of it. But you'd be able to buy a quarter-gram bag of pay dirt with like, a pound or two of dirt in it and, 100% ROI. Just so people, I know a lot of people support my channel and, they don't pan out enough pay dirt. They're like, man, I haven't had a bag of pay dirt in a while. This way they could buy a $25 big bag of pay dirt, get some gold out of it and be cheap and know they're getting all their money back. So, yeah. So you better be writing down notes for those quizzes. So. All right, we're getting there. This is a nice nugget too. This is a really pretty nugget. That's one thing. This is all stuff they dig up themselves, so that's why they don't keep a big stock of their pay dirts in hand. I like the Build-A-Bag pay dirts. There used to be a company that used to do that all the time, but like I said, the ROIs just for Build-A-Bags usually aren't that good because they have to calculate it based on everyone's going to order, more dirt, Like I said, if there's could just be a way, and the problem is like shipping just keeps going up. I mean, average shipping price, I think for priority mail is going up 50 cents a year. So you can't even say, well, this year I'm going to sell it like this because at the end of the year it's going to be 50 cents more, Yeah, all the so for like gold nugget sales, I do like that where his 3 gram bags are 3 pounds, his 1 gram bags are I think or whatever 12 ounces, something like that. So you get more when you buy the 3 grams, but you're paying more for shipping too. So yeah, but I like the washes bag. That was a good bag of pay dirt. There's only been a few gold nugget sales pay dirts I haven't liked. I have complained about a few of them over the years, But most in general, I like them just because it's different material. And that's, like I said, that's one of the main reasons I got into pay dirt and fell in love with panning pay dirt. You don't know. I'm going to quiz you about that 5 minutes, too. All the quiz questions are coming from that 5 minutes. So, that's the one thing I fell in love with about pay dirt is, one day you're panning Arizona dirt. The next day you're panning something from Nevada or some California or, some red clay from Gold Bay that he got or his Mexican dirt and stuff like that. Australian pay dirt, my absolute favorite. Again, Saturday, September 20th, I will be having an Australian pay dirt battle. 3 1-gram bags of pay dirt from Australia. So yeah, it's fun to just pan out the different pay dirts. And then what great thing about Gold Nugget Man is not only is it something from a different area, this is all gold that they dug up. And that just makes it so much cooler. Yeah, the Christmas in July, but that's because the Christmas in July's were 107% ROIs, I think, this year, or 105. So, is Mexican dirt spicy? No. Actually, I can't remember the last time somebody had an actual Mexican dirt. A lot of times they'll sell Mexican gold, but it won't actually be the dirt from there. But you can tell a lot of the dirts will be different. They'll smell different. You can tell, a lot of times if you get somebody, there used to be a seller on eBay. I can't remember his name right now. Really high ROIs, flour gold, but his dirt just was rotten smelling because you knew he was on some old dirt, that had been turned over. So yeah, it's like I said, I have my reasons why I love every single pay dirt in my top 10. GNS, I think, is just all round, good prices, good ROI, and he's got an absolute great selection. He does wonderful things for the community. He does giveaways. I mean, where else are you going to buy a pay dirt and then not have the you buy a bag and you're going to get a really low ROI, but you might get a big nugget. But no, he does, he did a 1 ounce nugget giveaway. This year he is doing another 1 ounce nugget giveaway. I'm almost positive. I think he said it a few times. He is going to do a big giveaway at some point this year. I think the odds will be a lot lower to win it because he'll probably end up advertising it on Whatnot and stuff like that. And everyone's going to get tickets. So, but all right. Here, let me dry off this nugget. I am going to try and weigh it up. I got my junky scale over there. So, Taco Bell, man, you mad at yourself, brother? You upset with your stomach? But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I really like GNS is I like his different pay dirts. Like I said, I mean, nobody else can really do that. It's just because he can. that he has, Australian dirt, and it had Australian dirt up for sale, the washes, he's nowhere near the washes, but he, part of his expenses is, and he still has a great pay dirt, part of his expenses is he pays people for dirt. So all right, let me go weigh this up because I'm just really curious. Give me 1 second. It's 1.02. So 1.02. I am going to weigh up the little flat piece I got from Golden Paydirt Reviews. So we're going to do that as well. .175. So difference. They look about the same size, but not really. I am saying pay dirt, not pee dirt. Someone just texted me and said I sound like I'm saying pee dirt. No, it's that southern charm. I miss the days where you could get a gram of pay dirt. Yeah, for 60, 70 bucks. Like I said, I think once gold hit 75 a gram, I thought, I didn't like that price. I always thought, $50 was a great price. I was okay. I could live with 75 bucks a gram. I thought, everyone could still buy it. You could still get a good ROI. Everyone could still make a ton of money. But this soon to be $120 a gram is just double. It's just, it makes it hard. It makes it really hard for, people in the community to buy pay dirts. Which again is why I do reviews, why I do my daily ROI chart on Patreon, just so I can help everyone find the absolute best deals possible. We're just going to put all the gold together. Didn't get that much from Golden Paydirt Reviews, mostly in that little bitty piece. I'm guessing Golden Paydirt Reviews was probably a 1/4 gram bag. So, yeah, my insides don't like me. Whatever I eat, so eat what I like. There you go, brother. Dude, Bitcoin. Yeah, I agree. I mean, like I said, if you buy gold, Paydirt, and you think, I'll see people saying, oh, you should just get bullion and stuff like that. It's the same thing. If you bought bullion at the same time you bought gold, if you brought it to an LCS to sell, they're not going to give you, 100% of your money back. They're not. That's why you have to kind of hold stuff to see. And I think I did the calculations one day, and I was talking to somebody about it, and I might have to shoot a video about it, but I figured out the calculations, like the perfect amount of value you need. It's a certain percentage that you need to go up. So, but yeah, I mean, you essentially have to wait. So if you buy Paydirt today at 100% ROI, you essentially have to wait till your ROI is about 121%. I think it's at 121%. If you sold it, you would break even again. So, you always have to hold it for a little while. It'll definitely hit 4K by the end of the year. So they're not going to change anything for the next year. I mean, you got to think there's no big political party races coming up before the end of the year. So there's nothing that anybody can really worry about. If the dollar goes down, it's not going to change the outcome of the House, the Senate, or any of these things. They're just, you don't even notice nobody's saying anything about it. Nobody's saying anything in any single country about the price going up. Like I said, they know foreign countries, by buying up gold, they're raising the price of gold. And therefore, if they buy a ton, the next day that ton is now worth a lot more money. So they're going to continue to buy and buy and buy until they get gold to a certain spot. Some countries will, all of a sudden, be really hurting and have to really start printing out money like crazy and try to hide how bad, that monetary is and their deficit is and stuff like that. And then gold will go down. I mean, I think it'll eventually hit like 5K, then it might drop to 4K or something like that. But, you know, for the time being, gold is not going to have a big drop, I don't think. So I just got a 144% ROI for my Brad's Bucket Paydirt. That's awesome. That's awesome. Just saying, corrupted. There you go, brother. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. See, that's the one thing. It's like when I do my things, I do have a disclaimer on my daily ROI. Is one of the good things is when I do those things, sellers do usually add a little bit more gold. So if like you see a seller, like I said, Vendetta, I think right now his 1.5 gram is 100 and some change percent. And you know it's got more than 1.5 grams in it. If it's got 1.55, you're going to hit 102%. And that extra 2% just means that a little bit longer you don't have to wait before you can sell it and make a profit. So, Brewers Prospecting, thank you for joining the show. Yeah, gold is already really close. And if you look at it, gold has been going up on average something, you know, the last couple of weeks, $30 a week. So, you know, you just need a couple good weeks and it'll definitely get up there. So that's when I'll sell an ounce at 4K. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. To me, if you plan on selling gold, like if you're holding gold for a certain price, shoot higher. Because like if you say I want it at 4K, buyers are going to offer you 3,400, 3,500 for that. So if you say I'm going to wait till I get 42, then at least you'll get closer. You'll say, okay, I'm going to get, you know, 37.5 for it. You know, so it's closer to 4K. So that, and by the time that happens, I'm gonna probably have to stop buying. So I appreciate that, Brewers. I know I have a lot of lurkers. You know, a lot of people that, you know, don't want to actually look at my ugly mug when it comes on. They just want to hear the voice. So yeah. Well, that's why Bitcoin. That's why they have slowly been passing laws over the last few years to make it more and more illegal to actually go mining. If you notice, Wisconsin, there's a lot of places just outlawed any type of mechanized panning or dredging or anything in Wisconsin. Now you can only go there with a pan because they don't want you finding massive amounts of gold. And they also know you can't, you know, lug 400 buckets away. I think they even are passing laws where you can't take the dirt away. Now you can prospect any minerals you find, you can take off their property or the beaches. But you can't actually just pull up, fill up a dump truck full of black sands, leave, and go process it at your house. So the last few years, they have been passing law after law after law to make sure that people can't just all of a sudden go and say, oh, let me be a gold miner. So you will have to pay to go on somebody's property, pay some rich landlord for their property and go and give them 30% cut. So there we go. Some pretty gold. Oh, if I don't put it on the bottom. It's crazy. So this nugget, I know they kind of, I mean, they almost look the same size. Obviously, one is skinnier, but 0.17 to 1.02. So there we go. Good night of panning. And again, Fox Rider, thank you so much for sending that over there. Bob's Pistols, thank you so much for sending over the Golden Paydirt reviews. You know, that was a blast from the past to go through for sure. I always wanted to get one of his bags of Paydirt, but I just never did, just because I never joined his Patreon. And I didn't know anyone else had ever won one of his bags. So that was really good. So, all right, we all know what time that means. It means I'm going to go back and we're all going to have to look at my ugly mug. So give me a second. I set everything up, move some stuff around, adjust my microphone, and then we will. There we go. All right. And let me, well, I guess y'all can stare at my ugly mug while I do this, but let's shrink down the gold. Yeah, let's shrink down the gold. Ugly mug time. There we go. So, and then I will, if one of my mods wants to drop the hidden link, I will go approve everyone else's comments that didn't get approved because I didn't have this set up right. Which I'm going to blame on Nightbot. Nightbot didn't do it correctly. Those left behind, thanks for joining the show. I'm looking at all the lurkers that only posted on the hidden comment but didn't actually join the chat. So Yeah. Joshua Journeys, how's it going? No, and Aaron Mack, remind me, send me an email so I can send you off the dime. I'll send that off to you. So, all right, here we go. We got everything set up. So, give me a second. I know. There we go. Now I can catch up on chat. Oh, wait, I gotta look at my own ugly mug. So hold on, let me move my stuff around so I can look at my own ugly mug. So there we go. Richard Dow, how's it going, brother? Thank you for joining the show. Very, very late. You missed it. See, it's all in the pan, or it's down here, wherever this is. Right here. We went through 2 bags there, or 1 bag, 1 jar. We went through a bag from Golden Paydirt Reviews, Martin. We went through his. I guess we found about 1/4 gram of gold. And then we went through the 2-gram picker from Gold Nugget Man. And again, anyone, if you've never bought from Gold Nugget Man, buy from Gold Nugget Man. Absolutely great. So, have almost 2 grams now? That's awesome. Win something maybe. Oh yeah, so tonight's prize, and again, I apologize everyone. I've been kind of behind on trying to figure out what to do for these live shows, for the giveaways. I didn't want to do the envelopes anymore. Most people that get my gold-plated dimes get them through Patreon, and it was just, I was sending dimes to people that already had them, or they were saying they didn't want them, or stuff like that. So tonight, I just have a 1-ounce copper round to give away. It's a wonderful 1-ounce copper round, but you know, that's all I have. I will try to set up in the future some type of wheel where most of the prizes will be copper rounds, but there will be some other prizes too, like a bag of Paydirt. So there will be a bag of Paydirt on there. I've ordered a couple bags of Paydirt to put in those. They haven't showed up yet. Like I have some bear prospecting that will be one of the prizes for the wheel for the live shows. So I can only afford so much in these live shows to do the giveaways, but I want to have the wheel back. I really just want to get the wheel back into rotation again. So I am a little behind on doing it. I haven't had it set up. I'm, old man syndrome, not getting enough stuff done. So, but I do have the 1-ounce copper round for tonight. So you can win something just for having to suffer through my ugly mug, Yogi Bear, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. I really do appreciate it. Chasing Cheddar, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. My 3.9 went up $40 in value in 2 weeks. Yeah. Still trying to win one of those dimes. Brewers Prospecting, send me an email. Send me an email and I will send you one, brother. There you go. Send me an email right there and I will send you one. So it's a beautiful copper round. It is. This is actually, I'm not a huge fan of copper rounds. They're copper, I'm not a huge fan. I always liked the American Prospector one just because the silver ones cost too much money. I mean, I'm not paying $80-$90 for an American Prospector silver round when silver is $40, But I like these. I like the colorized ones. I'm not usually, like I said, I'm not a fan of copper rounds or colorized ones, but I think these look really great. So they did good with these. So, and again, thank Whiskey Lover for these. So Whiskey Lover is awesome. Everyone's been really awesome lately sending me stuff from my channel. So panned out some Paydirt from some people sent to me. It's just awesome. So email sent. Thank you very much. Humble Stacker, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. And again, I think that's, oh, you could tell I don't do my own job here. I don't even know if that's a hidden link. Or is it hidden? It's called hidden, isn't it? I don't even know my own channel. Man, what would I do without my mod? So yeah, make sure you go. I dropped the hidden link. Make sure you go. Leave a comment on the hidden link. We're going to pull one name out of there. And that person will win a 1-ounce copper round. So and then I don't know if next week, I'm going to say next week I'll have it set up, but I probably won't have it set up next week. I'm hoping I do, but hopefully next week we'll get back to the wheel and have some prizes on there and make it a little bit more fun. So I did think one thing I might do, depending on what prizes I put on the wheel, we'll either do it a every day one, or we'll do it at the end of the month where you'll get a ticket. And at the end of the month, one of the 4 people will do it. So like if I had tonight, you would just win a spot. At the end of the night, I don't really like those because then I got to keep track of everyone's name. But then the prizes would be a lot better. So, they would also have the luck, like you might still win a 1-ounce round and there'd only be 1 out of 4 winners and they would win a 1-ounce round, but then you could win a half-gram bag of Paydirt. So I don't know. I have to think about it. I'm probably still going to stick to every night doing the wheel because everyone loves the wheel. So. JP, how's it going, man? Yeah, that was so much easier, wasn't it? Yeah. And nobody, and don't everyone just start asking, because I know, like I said, Brewers probably said that in chat for the last 2 years, you know, yeah. And I just, I'm slow. Sometimes it takes me a little longer to all of a sudden, sit out there and say, oh, let me send you one. So, but yeah, send me an email, Brewers. It's Dylan at Miller Prospecting. Thank you so much, Liz. And I will send you one. I still need to send some. I've been trying to update my Patreon to see what some people I can send some to. Congratulations to winners, whoever you are. Yeah, we haven't pulled it yet. We got like 4 more minutes and we'll pull it. Make sure everyone gets there. If you haven't, scroll up a little bit to the Nightbot where it says win maybe something. Who knows? But here. So YouTube, go over there, click that, leave a comment. As always, YouTube and its affiliates have nothing to do with this giveaway. This is 100% by me, from me to my viewers, just to give back to some people for looking at my ugly mug, supporting my channel, subscribing to my channel, things like that. So thank you all very much. Again, it has nothing to do with YouTube. And then finally, if you do win, if I do pull your name, you must post something in the live chat before the end of the show, so then I can verify that you are actually here and watching the show and not just a bot dropping names onto hidden links. So 2 rules. 1, YouTube has nothing to do with this giveaway. And number 2, you must post something in the live chat if I pull your name. So yeah, Yukon Alley is pretty hard to get. She only sells for like a month out of the year. It's really, really hard. Gold Nugget sales is great. Like I said, Vendetta's prospecting is really great. Again, if you're looking for somebody good, Gold Nugget Man, I could never speak highly enough about them and their 1 gram. Right now, I think it's $124 for a 1 gram jar. That includes shipping. You will get, vials, everything out. Great packaging, and Buck and Ollie are awesome. They dug up the dirt themselves. They dug up the gold. So definitely somebody to try. I will tell everybody, earlier this year, I did a challenge with Gold Nugget Man where I said anyone who bought their Paydirt at that time, I think they had a couple, 3 1 gram bags up, that if they bought one and they didn't get a 100% ROI, I would double the difference. All 3 of them got over 100% ROIs. All 3 of them got over 100% ROIs. So I love Buck and Ollie. I just love Vendetta and Gold Nugget sales a little bit more, which is why they're my number 3. But I check Yukon Alley daily too. Well, she would tell me, Yukon would tell me, and I usually try to tell people in advance. Like if she tells me, I'll try to tell people in advance, especially my Patreon members, that she's coming back. But I have not heard anything from her in a while. So I'm really hoping. I know she had some issues with Paydirts last year. She had some bad customers, some really, really bad customers last year. And it really dejected her. I will tell everyone this. Yukon Alley was extremely dejected about one of her I will say just one. It was one customer that really tried to throw a huge wrench into her Paydirt. And so she had told me, she said she was contemplating not selling anymore. So I'm hoping she sells again this year. This is something she does out of just love for Paydirt. She's a gold miner. If you watch her videos, she's pulling, $11,000 worth of gold in an hour out of a pit. She doesn't need to sell Paydirt and make, $1,000 over the course of a month. So, Yukon Alley, hopefully she'll come back this year. I'm really hoping. So it doesn't work that way, imagination to form. You got to be a mod. But here, I'll drop the hidden link just in case anyone doesn't have it. Speedbag, how's it going? So tonight for the hidden link, all I got is, I'm kind of lame tonight. I'm really lame tonight. All I got is a 1 ounce copper round, 1 ounce copper prospector round. So flag and eagle on the back, prospector on the front. So that's all we got for tonight. We're going to pull that in like 2 minutes. We'll let everyone, if you haven't already, click the hidden link and go and leave a comment. So, yep. And how are you doing, Speedbag? How you been doing? Hopefully you've been doing well. Yeah, there we go. So, all right, let me go. While y'all are leaving comments, if you are, I will go set everything up. Make sure I have all the links. Make sure all the links are working. And then we're going to do the giveaway. And again, if I pull your name, you must post something in the live chat before the end of the show, or you lose it. You will not get it. You can't come back 3 days later, 4 days later and say, oh, you pulled my name. I want to win. This is a one-shot deal, And after the show, you'll have to email me and tell me your address so I can ship it to you. So, all right. Let's shrink down the ugly mug So another little break. We got to say bye to the gold, though. Beautiful pile of gold. Again, thank you to Bob's Pistols and Fox Rider for sending those to me to pan out on a live show. I always appreciate it when people send me something to pan out on a live show. It really helps. When I'm doing reviews, that stuff from Patreon that I get to, review and stuff like that. But Tuesdays, I always appreciate that, especially things like the Bob's Pistols or this one from Gold Nugget Man. It's not something I probably would have bought spur of the moment to do on these shows. So, all right, Pan and Cam, we can say bye to. And then we're going to shrink down the ugly mug. Let me make sure that is up there. All right, so shrink down the ugly mug again, but it stays on the screen. I'm just going to be small size, so you don't get to cheer. Still here, just smaller. So there we go. We will go to the absolute best website on the internet, millerprospecting.com. And again, all of my posts are here. You can go and find every single post I have. It is much easier to find any of my videos here, I think, than on YouTube. They're all categorized, all in order. You can drop down menus and see them all. I have my top 10 recommended sellers. These are the sellers you really want to pay attention to. These are the sellers in order, too, that you'll probably get some of the best ROIs from. Last 100 reviews I've done, I've got every single video on here. I have my worst 25 ROIs of all time. Sellers to avoid. This is a very important list. If you see somebody advertising or you see a Paydirt, you can't find a review on it, you can't see anything about them, come to my site and look at it. If they are on here and this sellers to avoid, you don't want to buy from them. You will not get a good ROI. I just got an email from somebody recently that bought from one of those avoid sellers. They spent $840 and got a 20% ROI. $840 and got a 20% ROI. So absolutely brutal. And another thing, and also if you come here, I know I talk about this all the time. If you go to my website, unclaimed money, I do have a map. Whatever state you live in, if you click that state on your map, it will open up a government website. This is a government-run website. It's not some hokey website with somebody else. It's a government-run website. And it will tell you if it owes you any money. So you can check your state and see if the government owes you any money, and then you can get your money back. So, all right. Now, enough talking. Enough ugly mug time. Let's pull the name. Again, post. Here we go. No replies. Good luck to everyone. Thank you for joining the show. I really do appreciate it. Let's pull that one name. 40 comments. Pick it. Weezen Geezer, as president of Just Give It to Weezen Foundation, I approve this message. I approve it too, Weezen. So Weezen won. I will send it to you, Weezen. You do have to post something in live chat, though. I don't know if he's still here. But, all right, Weezen, you won for tonight. Let me open up chat, make sure he posts something. I don't want one of my mods not posting. I found some money, rigged. Yeah, it's a great website. I really do, check it every once a year. That's all you need to do. So, all right. Oh, you got to look at my mug full size. So I can't have y'all looking at me all shrunk down like that. Full size. There we go. Those left behind, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. And yes, Weezen, you won. Yes. Congratulations, brother. Thank you for being a mod. 100% rigged. If it ain't rigged, it ain't right. So he's here. So, but yeah, okay. I do have, before everyone runs out of here, Saturday, I do have a video coming out. I'm really behind on my videos, and I apologize to everyone, especially my Patreon members. I'm still trying to put out reviews, but I have some other videos that I've been trying to get out. I have a mail call from a new possible seller in Australia that I've been trying to get out for 3 weeks now, and I just haven't been able to do it. But Saturday, I definitely have a review coming out. I'm hoping to maybe throw one other video in there as well. Saturday, I also have the Guess the Gold contest. So if you're a Patreon member this Saturday, I will have the Guess the Gold contest. Then right after that, I will have a review coming out. So there will be 2 this Saturday, but the gold guessing contest will be out Saturday. So if you're a Patreon member, make sure you watch that so you can get your guesses in. And then next Tuesday, I don't know what we're panning, but we're panning something. Maybe it was the Ortiz bag. Maybe it was the Ortiz bag next Tuesday. I've been wanting to do the Ortiz bag, and I keep telling Josh I'm going to do his bag. So I'll probably do the Ortiz bag next Tuesday. I don't think I have anything else scheduled. So, but we'll see. We'll pan something out Tuesday, and we'll see some more gold. So, but I'm going to get out of here. I really do appreciate everyone who joined the live show tonight. I appreciate everything y'all do for this channel as always. But I'm going to go out of here. I hope everyone has a great week. Saturday, I will have gold guessing contest. That's very, very important. The gold guessing contest. I don't know if it's going to be multiple nuggets or one nugget or two nuggets, how it's going to go. But gold guessing contest is this Saturday. And then we have a Paydirt review after that next Tuesday, panning out some Paydirt. So see y'all later. Thanks again for watching. I hope everyone has an absolute blessed week and a wonderful